The push to retake the city of Mosul with the Kurdish Peshmerga Forces. Euronews correspondent Mohamed Shaikhibrahim is embedded with the elite troops. The company of soldiers have stopped at a military camp just 1.5 kilometres from the jihadist fighters, from where they prepare to engage them. This is known as Sultan Abdullah Barrack. It is close to Sultan Abdullah, which lies southeast of the city. It is one of a cluster of villages which have to be cleared of the so-called Islamic State before the offensive on Mosul. This is one of the most important military fronts for the Peshmerga, but so far the troops have been frustrated in their efforts to liberate the village. The battles are mostly at night. In daylight, the Peshmerga forces monitor from afar, opening fire on any suspicious movements among the buildings, which are now empty of civilians. ISIL has built a maze of tunnels to move from one house to another. They have laid booby traps around the village to prevent a surprise attack. They claim ISIL is using chemical weapons. In the presence of international experts, we've recorded the fact this site was bombed with chemical weapons and poisonous gases on more than 4 occasions. The worst of these attacks was last year by shells with deadly chemicals in them. We also found landmines with chemicals which we dismantled, preventing hundreds of soldiers from being killed. The troops are prepared. It was not far from here that an attack by ISIL using mustard gas was confirmed. That was last August. There were no fatalities, but fears persist. The militants will continue to use the weapons, which have the potential to cause massive injuries, and that they will become more sophisticated in their use. Chemical weapons are banned under an international treaty signed after their lethal use in World War I. The Peshmerga troops have been able to retake many of the villages surrounding Mosul. Their targets now are to keep control of the borders and provide backup for the Iraqi troops advancing on the city. Sultan Abdullah is considered one of the main military barracks from which to attack, and this is the reason why so many of the Peshmerga elite forces are stationed here. It is also a sensitive transit point between Kirkuk, Erbil and Mosul cities.
من منطقة السلطان عبد الله محمد شيخ إبراهيم ليورو نيوز.